breaking throughout the day, we've been looking at images like this. 5 homes have collapsed in Buxton, North Carolina in the span of just an hour. This comes just 2 weeks after another home collapsed in the same area. In total, 17 homes have collapsed on the Outer Banks since 2020. That includes the 5 from today. We do have drone video that was shot by Jenni Koontz. She's a photographer with Epic Shutter Photography. Both hurricanes Imelda and Umberto are bringing this rough surf that they're dealing with right now in dangerous conditions all throughout the Carolina coast. Of course, the Outer Banks feeling the worst of it. I'm joined now by Jenni Koontz. Jenni, before we get to the new homes that collapsed, could you kind of safely walk around and show us what you're seeing right now in Buxton?
Sure. So here is the area where the house all fell in. And here's somebody coming out of one of the broken houses. Here's some destruction. Can you see what I'm shooting?
Yes, we can see all that debris. Is that from one home, or is that all the homes kind of combined?
It's from all 5.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all 5. So up here, can you see where I'm pointing?
Yes.
So that's where the first house collapsed, right next to that greenhouse. That was the yellow house. And then the 2 next to it, you can see the staircase here. There was 2 houses, yes, there were 2 houses here right next to the yellow house in between the debris and that little stand boardwalk straight ahead that's still standing. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, and then, so those 3 fell. And then when you pan this way, past this, in between these 2 houses where it's nothing's there. Do you see that?
Yes, we can see that too.
Okay, so right there was where the other 2 fell. So that's a total of 5.
Wow. And Jenni, I know you've been photographing this and using your drone. Can you kind of walk us through what you've seen with the coastal erosion over the last several years?
Well, so it's been rapidly increasing over the past, I would say, at least 6 years, where I've just seen this increase. Every storm is a lot more beaches taken away. But since Hurricane Erin, I guess it's been about a month now, we've had Hurricane Erin and an unnamed storm. And then we also now have Umberto and the other storms offshore right now. And we have literally lost all of our beach in Buxton. As you see, the 5 houses have collapsed, or, we've had 6 actually collapsed since Hurricane Erin. All the houses are taking a beating. It's devastating. I think the damage is unmeasurable at this point. As a local that lives here, it's heartbreaking, not only for the homeowners, but the fact that this is our community where we live. And, I don't know how this is going to be cleaned up very quickly. It's a lot of debris, and I think we're just getting started. I think the rest of the week is going to be just as intense, if not more. We're going to have more houses falling in for sure, I believe.
Yeah, Jenni, when we're looking at this and we're listening to you, you can hear the wind. I want to ask you, because it seems like gusts are right around 30 to 40 miles an hour. Has it been like that, persistent through the entire day so far?
So it definitely picked up around high tide. It was not as windy this morning, but as I came out shooting about, I guess I got down here before noon, or like right around noon, it seemed like it's picked up tremendously since I got here. So I'm not really sure. I haven't been paying attention to the weather. I'm just standing out in it and experiencing it firsthand. And I haven't had time to breathe because it's just been one thing after another with these homes falling. And I think I'm still in shock. I don't think I fully have processed what's happening around here.
Yeah, no worries. We are looking at it from our standpoint, and you are giving us the ground truth. I want to ask you, because you said you're a local, and this is devastating, right? This is, a beauty of your backyard, being able to see the ocean. What can they do to preserve those homes that are still standing behind you? We noticed the sandbags. Is that an effort that is actually feasible, or does that seem a loss too?
So the sandbags help, but it's something that needs to be done and established. For instance, at the Lighthouse View Motel, they have been doing it for many, many years, and some of the bags are like sunken and deep, and then they build on top of those, but there's definitely like a limit to the height of the sandbags that you can build. But theirs are more established. The new ones that were just put in those houses that I've been documenting the past couple days, they haven't been established. And before high tide, I was there filming, and the water was surrounding them and coming up over them. So the sandbags are not a permanent solution. They definitely hold the stand a little longer. I don't think there's much that can be done. I think tearing these homes down would be the safest, the most ethical, not financially satisfying to most people that own these homes. Obviously, they would lose a lot of money, but I don't think at this point they're going to get their money back anyway. I don't want to sound like I'm not being sensitive to people, but it's kind of sad to see how much debris, and again, I'll show you, the debris that's on the ground that these houses have left for our national park, for our locals, for everyone to have to clean up. I mean, at this point, I don't know how they're going to hire a contractor that's going to clean up all of this, because it's not like one house knows where their debris is. When 5 houses fall in, like, whose debris is what at this point? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. When you turn that around, Jenni, if you could turn the total camera around, to kind of give people at home a perspective, because you bring up a good point. It's tough to differentiate whose property is what. It's all combined. Is this isolated to just this portion of the Outer Banks, or with your familiarity and, of course, as a photographer, when you throw up the drone, is this something that's a little more expansive as you go up and down the Outer Banks?
So as far as the whole Outer Banks, that's a very
large
broad,
area.
Large area. So I'm specifically on Cape Hatteras National Seashore. The Rodanthe homes have always been an issue. I'm not sure if any fell today. I haven't had any time to even focus on Rodanthe. I've been in Buxton all day. But typically, it's Rodanthe, Buxton are the vulnerable areas with houses right now. I know that in the past, there's been houses that have fallen in like Nag's Head, but I don't know much about that. I specifically, know about Cape Hatteras National Seashore, and this is not normal for this many houses to fall in, not at all, but it's definitely, the beach is gone. There's no beach. So what's going to happen? They're all going to fall.
And Jenni, I want to ask you about the ones that are still standing. You had said, hey, this is scary because it's going to be an ongoing threat. Do you see any vulnerability in those homes? Because, I mean, when we're looking at it, it seems like they're in the ocean already standing there. That just shows you, like you had mentioned, there's no beach.
Yeah, so those houses are all hanging on by a thread. A lot of them are missing a lot of pilings that are holding them up. And they're slowly losing more and more. Some of the homes are braced and a little bit stronger, but for the most part, they're all vulnerable. And this week's just getting started with the weather, so I imagine there's going to be many more that fall.
Scary to think. And Jenni, I think we saw a video from you yesterday. It's not just even the ones that are on the outer edge. Wasn't there some water actually getting into the? It looks like a kind of like a neighborhood there. Could you kind of give us a sense of how far that water actually moves inland?
Yeah, so the water comes from these oceanfront houses and goes all the way across Highway 12. Some of the people I spoke to, I've been on the oceanfront all day, but people who have driven here have said that the road got closed and they had to park and they had to walk over here because they shut down the road to this area for a little while. I think it's opened again, but the water was flooding onto Highway 12 from the oceanfront. So I'm not really a great judge of the distance, but I would say probably a mile or so of water flowing through. And we've seen that before, but there was more beach then.
Jenni, can you, because I know you said you've been going all day long, you're trying to absorb everything you're seeing, you're kind of in shock. Can you kind of tell us the emotional toll of this? Because we see families out there, everybody's staring at this. You're a local, you take pride in what your coastline is. These are your neighbors, and now you're seeing it reduced to something that's unrecognizable right now.
Yeah, it's super tragic. Like I said, I'm still processing all my emotions right now. I don't really think until I get home tonight and sit down, the swell is actually pushing all this debris up behind me. I don't think I'm going to fully process it for this whole week. I'll probably still be processing this, to be quite honest with you. You see stuff on TV, you see it in movies, you just don't ever think it's going to be you or your neighborhood. And I've seen houses fall, but this is way more destruction than just a couple houses falling. So, and there's so many houses that are at risk right now, and so much, it's just so devastating. It truly is just devastating.
And Jenni, I mean, we have to think these storms that are doing this right now are hundreds of miles off the coast, and it's still able to create all of that energy and coastal erosion. I want to ask you something. When I was reading up on this, they talk about the the beach nourishment, or I guess it's nourishment for the coastline. Can you kind of give us a sense for those that don't live there, what that actually means? And is it something that's sustainable, or is it a project that, you know, you lose all of it every time a storm comes in?
So there's so many opinions about that. For me, I have documented the beach nourishment here in Buxton a few years ago. They're supposed to be doing it this coming year in the summer of 2026, and it's a little too late at this point. But so a lot of coastal towns, from my understanding, do this annually, and they are annually renourishing their beaches. And here comes some more tidewater. And I feel like that's the only way it's going to last or be feasible and like financially it's a lot of money. So we don't have it built into our taxes here. It's more there has to be like bidding, and money has to be, you know, pulled from the homeowners, and the, you know, like tax wise it has to be pulled. So it's a lot like of money, and I get that, but a lot of beach towns somehow put it into their taxes so that it's, you know, included, and every year there's money and funding for it. We unfortunately don't have that here, and it's kind of random when they do it and when the money's there. And I think if it was an annual thing, you know, it would actually stick around, and I don't think as much would be wasted, and it would financially make more sense. And a lot of people, you know, I get a lot of comments on my social media, and a lot of people think that these houses were built in the ocean, and common sense tells you that's not real, that nobody can build their house in the ocean. So this has been years of coastal erosion, but it has rapidly increased over the past, you know, month. Like, so much so that I can't even believe it. Like, my photos from last spring till now of Buxton are just, it's almost like not even, you can't even recognize it.
Yeah, and it's so important that you're documenting this as a photographer. Thank you so much for showing us. Please be safe. Jenni Koontz with Epic Shutter Photography. Thank you for your time and insight tonight here on Fox Weather.
Thank you so much.